Hello, and welcome to the Dallas Songwriters Association Songwriter Spotlight. I'm Barbe McMillen. Each month, we explore the songs and stories of an award-winning songwriter. I'm your host, and today our spotlight is on Eric Ramsey. Eric is a perennial favorite on the folk and blues festival circuits, not only for his dynamic, engaging performances, but for his open tuning and slide guitar workshops as well. Three times winner of the Arizona Blues Showdown, Eric has been inducted into the Arizona Blues Hall of Fame. He's a winner of the International Blues Challenge, as well as the Memphis Cigar Box Guitar Award for the Outstanding Guitarist in the Solo Duo category. He's a four-time champion of the Phoenix Blues Society Blues Showdown and a two-time finalist in the Telluride Blues Challenge. Winner of the Stefan George Memorial Songwriting Contest sponsored by the Tucson Folk Festival, winner of the People's Choice Award at the Wildflower and Arts and Music Festival, and he's been tapped for the prestigious Songwriters Showcase produced by Tempe Center for the Arts, filmed by PBS Distribution. Isn't that great? He's been a four-time featured performer at Dripping Springs Songwriting Festival and has garnered numerous accolades for his songwriting, including the Dallas Songwriters Association International Song Contest category winner for Life is Hard in 2023 and Gone, Gone, Gone in 2021, and the Dallas Songwriters Vern Dailey Award semifinalist in 2023 for Memorial Day and 2021 for Thrift Store Hero. Those last three songs were co-written by Michael R.J. Roth. Eric's credits reflect a talented performer and songwriter. Here's a quote that I found from the Folk Sessions, a part of Arizona Community Radio Network. Here's what they had to say. If you've heard him once, you'll want to hear him again and again and again and then some. Eric Ramsey rocks the house and steals the show. This folk blues artist is a must-see. And folks, we are so lucky to have him now. Here is Eric Ramsey.
Hi, Barbie. Thank
Hey
you
there.
so much for letting me be a part of that, and for, when you write your own press release, you get to write whatever you want. So thanks for reading all my lies.
Oh, they're all true. I checked up on you.
Oh, well, you're right. Those last three songs that won some awards for the Dallas Songwriters Association were co-written with Michael Roth, who's, as you know, he's a wonderful, wonderful songwriter and lyricist. So I'm honored to be able to work with him a little bit. It's a lot of fun. So I guess I'll play you a song.
Good. Give us a couple.
Oh, okay. I'll play a couple. This is a song called "I Love My Baby," and I wrote it because I was in trouble. So songwriting gets you in trouble. It can get you out of trouble if you're lucky. I love my baby. Well, sometimes I get to thinking that I don't think near enough. Sometimes the road I'm taking seems a little rough. Sometimes I wonder if I'm where I ought to be. But I love my baby, and my baby, she loves me. Sometimes I get hungry for something I can't find. Sometimes I make excuses when I can't make up my mind. Sometimes I get lonely in the middle of a crowded room. But I love my baby, and my baby loves me too. Long and lovely, wild and free, she gives all her love to me. She makes me laugh, she makes me burn. I never know which way she's gonna turn. She's in my heart, she's in my head. Did you hear what I just said? Well, I can't seem to get enough of her and all her love and stuff. Ooh, you got to believe that I love my baby, and my baby, she loves me. Long, lovely, wild and free, she gives all her love to me. She makes me laugh, that woman makes me burn. I never know which way she's gonna turn. She's in my heart, she's in my head. Did you hear what I just said? Well, I can't seem to get enough of her and all her love and stuff. Ooh, you got to believe that I love my baby, and my baby, she loves me. Well, sometimes life is just as clear as day, and sometimes you're in the fog. Sometimes life seems as easy as falling off a log. Sometimes the lightning ties you up, the thunder sets you free. And I love my baby, and my baby, she loves me. Sometimes the lightning blinds you, sometimes it helps you see. And I love my baby, and my baby, she loves me. That was for my lovely wife because I'd gotten myself in trouble. I'm going to switch guitars here real quick and
Alrighty, well, I'll talk to you a little bit while you're doing that. So what tuning do you use? Obviously, you've got an open tuning on that.
that was open D.
D.
I tend
okay.
to I switch between open D and open G.
Okay.
And the lap steel, which I'll play here in a little bit, the lap steel, I play that in open C, which is it's a baritone scale, so it's a little bit lower. And
So people who are watching are probably going to want to know what kind of guitar that was. That was a National Resonator, is that correct?
it's a national, it's a national resonator. I'm this one and that one. Is that
There
better?
you go. Yeah.
This is a newer one. I haven't recorded it yet. I haven't been in the studio for a couple years for financial reasons more than anything else, but hang on one sec. So this song is called Funeral in Wichita. And it's a work of fiction, but it's based on an actual funeral that I attended in Wichita. It was the funeral of the last uncle on my father's side of the family, and it was in January of 23, I guess. And Wichita in January is, well, I suppose it's not that different than Dallas in January. It's cold and wet and miserable, and so the images that are in the song come directly from that. The story in the song, though, is complete fabrication. It's called funeral in Wichita. Never thought we'd have this day, no one saw it coming. The old man was too mean to die, and he took it nice and slow. His summons must have come, boys, from some bloody black hereafter. Satan finally closed the deal he'd brokered long ago. Rain pretending it's not snow, as if we don't know better. Low morning sky like a veil of dirty wool. Cold to your marrow, boys, that's Wichita in winter, where the wind scours the soul and takes no pity on the fool. There's a funeral in Wichita, everybody's gonna be there. So button up your coats and clamp your hats down on your heads. This hole won't dig itself, boys, so put your backs into it. With each bite of the spade, hear the whispers from the dead. The old man left with his first penny that he'd ever made, boys, and the pennies and the hopes and dreams of folks for miles around. Just this side of outlaw, but of course he owned the sheriff and the police and the council, 9/10 of the town. There's a funeral in Wichita, everybody's gonna be there. So button up your coats and clamp your hats down on your heads. This hole won't dig itself, boys, so put your backs into it. With each bite of the spade, you hear the murmurs of the dead. Know him today, no epitaph, no charity in mind. Remembering all the broken lives the old man leaves behind. Grab a shovel full of mud, boys, chuck it in the hole. Let's bury that old bastard and let no one wish him well. Then fortify yourself, boys, with powder, prayer, or potion, 'cause that box down in the pit lies on the front porch of hell. Tamper up now, good boys, and see that she don't settle much. The only marker left will be an indent in the plains, but the prairie grass will grow and die and wither with the seasons until the old man's story is all that remains. There's a funeral in Wichita, everybody's gonna be there. Button up your coats and clamp your hats down on your heads. This hole won't dig itself, boys, so put your backs into it. With each bite of the spade, you hear the welcomes from the dead. There's a funeral in Wichita. Everybody's gonna be there. That's a cheery one, isn't it?
I think Michael Roth has rubbed off on you.
Well, I'm fortunate if that's in fact true.
So I really can't see from the video what brand of guitar that you're playing. People probably want to know that.
Oh, this one is an old Fender.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called a GA45 SCE is what it is, and it's probably almost 30 years old now. They don't make these anymore, but it was Fender's kind of first foray into a higher quality acoustic guitar, and I think they kind of knocked off a Taylor. I mean, it's a grand auditorium like Taylor's, you know. And one sec.
People love Taylors. They love Taylor guitars. So it sounds good. It sounds really good. So do you use that just in the studio, or do you use it live as well?
I beg your pardon?
Do you use that in the studio only, or do you use it live as well?
No, this is my number one. I play this everywhere.
Okay, that's the buddy. That's the one you sleep with?
Pretty much, yeah, when my wife lets me.
So I'm just curious, you know, and looking on your website, there is nowhere does it say where you were born, where you grew up. So are you going to tell us, or are you just going to be a nomad? Or
Well, I was born and grew up in Wichita, Kansas.
oh, okay. So that's why you were back there for the funeral.
Right, yeah, I was back there for the funeral, and I've been out here in Arizona since 1976, so I consider myself an Arizonan more than anything else. But yeah, I grew up there, and I came out here to go to college and just stayed.
Yeah. You stayed after college.
Yeah, it's, you know, Arizona, especially back then, it was a different place. Phoenix was a different place. It was smaller, and it was a little more friendly. You know, it's, I think, maybe the 5th largest metro area in the country now, and
Has it grown that much? Oh my! So that includes Tempe and Scottsdale, or what?
Tempe, Scottsdale, yeah. Now I don't know, the furthest west suburb now, I think, is Avondale, and then but it extends to the southeast, and there's an area called Queen Creek. I think there are over 5 million people here in the valley now, and it's becoming more and more like L.A., unfortunately, in that regard.
Except you don't get the cool nights, or do you?
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. This time of year, our overnight lows here are like 85.
Yeah. Well, that's not unlike Texas. We get hot nights too. At least they're a little bit cooler than the 100-degree days.
Yeah, it's going to be, we're having a cool down. It's only going to be 105 here today. So we're counting ourselves lucky.
Well, what have you got next? You got a couple more songs for us?
Sure, if you want them.
Yeah, we're ready for them.
I'm going to play
Knock me out.
I'm going to play a Weissenborn style lap steel on this one. After I make a little noise.
So how long have you been playing that resonator guitar?
Well, I got that resonator guitar as a surprise birthday present from my wife about 8 years ago, I think. And I'd never had one before. I'd always kind of coveted one. I'd never really played in open tunings before. But I imagine everyone's had this experience when they pick up a guitar and you just know it's the right one.
Yeah.
You know that it feels right, and it just, you can tell that it's the guitar that you're supposed to have, and that's the way this one felt from the moment I first picked it up.
And how about the lap steel that you're getting ready to play?
The lap steel was built for me by a luthier up in Flagstaff. Back in, I think it was 20. He built it in 2019, and fortunately, he let me pay it off in installments because he'd started it, and then COVID hit, and I wasn't making any money, and wasn't able to play out at all. But he let me pay it off in installments. It's made out of mesquite, actually. The back and sides are mesquite, which I didn't know. I wasn't aware that that was even tone wood, but it certainly is. And the top is mahogany. And can you hear that okay?
It could be a little bit louder, I think.
Yeah, the output on this is a little bit lower. I'll try that. Better?
Better.
A little more?
Think a little bit more. Okay, slide that thing up a little bit so we can see how if it does any distortion or anything. No, I meant the slide on it. Yeah, I think that's going to work fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
All righty. Well, this song is called So Much Promise. And in my little workspace here, there are a couple of pictures I look at all the time on a shelf sitting right there. And one's a picture of my dad when he graduated basic training from the Marines. He fought in Korea, earned a Purple Heart in Korea. But this was his basic training portrait. I think it was probably colorized at one point. It looks like it might have had some tint to it. Now it's pretty much just monochrome gray, and the other picture is a picture of my little boy, who is no longer a little boy. He's now 20. God, he's going to be 27 the end of the month. He was a very avid and very good baseball player when he was younger. And this picture was taken when he was maybe 10, and he'd just come off the field, and he's taken off his catcher's gear. But whatever's happening on the field has his complete, total attention, and it's one of those candid pictures that you're lucky to get of your kids, you know. And so I tried a whole bunch of different iterations of this song. I changed the keys a couple of times. I changed the lyrics. I changed the chord progressions. I knew the story was there. I just didn't know how it was going to be told. And tried a bunch of different instruments on it. And it wasn't until I got this lap steel, and I was noodling around on it one day, and the song just sort of said, oh, well, this is where I belong with this instrument. So it took that long for it to find its legs, but it found a home, and it's called So Much Promise. There's a battered picture in my room, a portrait of a young Marine, fading now to shades of gray, so much promise. I know his buttons were polished, I can just imagine how they shone like gold. Buttons polished, how they must have shone. Battered pictures, tattered letters, yesterday's flung to the wind long ago. Now a wooden box holds vestiges of what had been, and so much promise. There's a battered picture I keep as a bookmark. A little boy in a catcher's mask is looking out on the field. so much promise. I know his future's bright, that next half inning gonna shine like gold. Future's bright, how he's gonna shine. Broken bats, shattered windows, baseballs flung into the weeds. Long ago in seasons past, dreams to words and dreams to deeds, and so much promise. So much promise. Shooting stars don't always hit the ground. Oh, but when they do, they leave a smoking crater and the heavy celestial residue of so much promise. These battered songs I know by heart. I dig them up when I'm feeling low. Turns of phrase, mirrors and smoke, and so much promise. Memories once exhumed, cut like razors, or they shine like gold. Memories cut like razors, or shine like gold. Broken records, missing words, melodies sung to the wind. Long ago on scribbled pages, my loose leaf wisdom offered so much promise. So much promise. So much promise.
All right. So how many songs do you do on that lap steel?
Oh, I'll probably have a half a dozen, maybe. Something like
Yeah.
that. I love it. There's something about this open C tuning, too. It's very resonant.
Mhm.
And playing a lap steel, I mean, it's all shooting right into your face. You know, it's coming right out of the sound hole right into your face. So it's kind of, I love that part of it, too.
Are you going to do another one for us tonight?
I can, yeah.
Okay. Why don't you and turn the guitar up just a little bit more?
Okay. I'll just do it right now then.
Yeah.
This is a little quieter one anyway, so this song is called Nothing Compares to You. And I wrote it for my wife. I wasn't in trouble this time. It's just how I was really feeling about her. But I was also honored to play this song at my son and his wife's wedding. They asked me to play this song. They liked it too. And you know, it's funny. I've been fortunate to play some pretty big shows and for some pretty large audiences in some beautiful theaters and things. And I've never been as nervous as I was playing this at their wedding reception. It's ridiculous. So
It's because those people at the festivals are just faces that we don't know.
right.
But our friends and family are we think are our worst critics, and really they aren't, but that we think they are, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Nothing compares to you. Well, sapphires or diamonds, silver or gold, children's choirs or puppies to hold, church bells or sleigh bells or Christmas Eve snow, nothing compares to you. My favorite old jeans just out of the dryer, falling asleep in front of a fire. Crisp autumn apples straight from the tree, nothing compares to you. Oh, nothing compares to you. Now a world without hunger or heartache or fear might hold a candle to you, my dear one. Oh, but I must be honest, nothing comes near. Nothing compares to you. Ninth inning game winning home runs, my old dog fast asleep in the sun, rain on a tin roof or an Arizona spring, nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Oh, nothing compares to you.
All right, that was nice. That was a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Great wedding song.
Thank you.
So sweet. Um, let's see that guitar. Wait. Before you set it down, just show it so everybody can look at it real good.
Sure. Okay.
So everybody can
So
see it real yeah.
it's a Weissenborn style,
Mhm.
which means that it's based on the design by, actually, the fellow's, I can't remember his first name. He was I think a second generation German American based in L.A. He didn't come up with the design. that was designed. The design came from a guy named Christopher Knudsen, who was a Norwegian luthier. But Herman Weissenborn figured out a way to mass produce these things, because back in the 20s and 30s, America had become smitten with Hawaiian lap steel music, and they're played on, traditionally they're played on these kind of guitars. So he figured out a way to make them cheap and fast, and so he's credited with the name of the style.
That's a beautiful guitar.
The original ones are very rare now, and they're very expensive if you can even find one. But yeah, it's wonderful.
And who knew mesquite? We got lots of that in Texas.
Yeah, you do. We have a lot of it here too, and I had no idea. It's beautiful. You know, it's beautifully figured. I don't know if you can see that or not, but
curvy as a woman's body. And just like the rappers like, big at the bottom.
It is that, indeed.
So what were you studying in college?
I studied history in college, and then became an electrician.
You're kidding, really? So is that what you did? Have you done? How long were you an electrician?
That's what I did for 20-some years. I was an electrician.
Boy, that's so important to have an electrician around. If you don't have a good electrician, you might burn your house down.
Yeah, I don't tell anybody I'm an electrician anymore.
Because they're going to call you.
I'm tired of climbing through attics and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I was an electrician, and then about 10 years ago, my wife, I had some success with some contests and some things, and my wife gave me the opportunity to try music full time, and I wouldn't have achieved 1/100th of what I've been able to do without her support. I'm the luckiest guy, really, ever.
Well, we got another song for us?
Yeah, sure. I'll play all afternoon. I don't care. This is a treat for me.
It's a treat for us more than anything. I'm glad you like to play, because we love to hear you.
I just need to find the chord. C-O-R-D, not C-H-O-R-D, although I look for those all the time too.
Yeah,
I'm going to turn
we're always
this back
in search
down.
of a chord. Yeah, you probably will need to. That was a quiet guitar, but it was such a beautiful sound.
Is that a little too hot?
I'll never know until you start singing. That's the unfortunate thing about this.
Right.
It sounds all right.
Wish I had a better.
Sounds like it's going to be okay.
This song is called "The Other Side of the World." We're all in this together. Well, I've been all around, friends. I've seen lots of things, good, bad, and indifferent. Folks are all the same. If you think about it, we've all got our mortal coil. You and me and them other fools on the other side of the world. Now, I have seen the sun set from a mountain top. I've watched the dawn break over my coffee cup. Just about every day, as close as I can tell. The sun comes up and goes down on the other side of the world as well. Now I'm not the sharpest guy, everybody tells me so. I ain't certain about a lot of stuff, oh, but here's one thing I know. We all come squalling to this life of earthly toil. You and me and them other fools on the other side of the world. Now most folks like to laugh, some folks like to cry. Some folks won't let themselves feel nothing inside. Some folks will steal, other folks will lie. And not everyone believes in the same sweet by and by. Some folks will help you, some will take a pass. Some folks will go out of their way to suggest you kiss there. As far as I can figure, we're all just boys and girls. And boys and girls are just the same on the other side of the world. Mamas hold their babies close and sing softly in their ears. Lovers tell each other lies and all the things they long to hear. We believe in different fairy tales, but we come from the same soil. You and me and them other fools on the other side of the world. We all come kicking and screaming to this life of earthly toil. You and me and them other fools on the other side of the world. You and me are them other fools to the other side of the world.
Well, okay, so I've been trying to figure out, like, who are your influences?
Wow. Well, John Prine is an influence. Jackson Brown's been a big influence. Early on, Dan Fogelberg was a huge influence.
I can hear that, yeah.
John Hyatt. I'm a huge fan of John Hyatt
Me
and Lyle Lovett
too.
stuff. You know, Joni Mitchell is and
So,
I can't think of.
so
her name.
do you do a lot of reading?
A lot of
Reading. Did you used to? I mean,
Oh.
you're being a history major. I know that you had
Yeah.
to read a lot for that to be able to graduate through that course.
Yeah.
And so you must be an avid reader.
I certainly was. I still am, but I fall asleep now. But when I start, I read the same page for about 4 days in a row, 4 nights in a row. You know. But yes, and Mark Twain was a huge influence. I'm a big Mark Twain fan. That kind of stuff.
Well, I know you've been co-writing with Michael Roth, but who else? Do you have other co-writing partners or?
Michael is the primary one. I've done a couple of things with one or two other people. I'm just I'm honestly not. I don't really know how to co-write. Honestly, I mean,
Well, apparently you do. You guys have written a couple pretty good songs that I've heard. A
well,
few, yeah.
that's Michael. I mean, Michael understands how all that works, and he and I have some sort of connection that it just sort of presented itself when we first met.
Where did y'all meet?
He contacted. We have a mutual friend in Washington D.C. His name's Mike Ryan, who's also a wonderful songwriter.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with him? Mike,
oh yeah,
Mike?
he's been
Yeah.
on. He was our winner one year for our song contest.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great
Yeah,
writer.
he's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
And he knew Michael, and he knew me. We met at a couple of songwriting festivals. We'd seen each other, and he made Mike Ryan made an introduction, and we started chatting via email. Michael Roth and I, and he sent some lyrics over, and they were kind of captivating, as you know his lyrics are.
Yeah.
And I think I will, with full disclosure, I might come up with some of the melodic hooks and things like that. I might add a phrase here or suggest a change, but his lyrics are so powerful that there's often not a whole lot to be done with them. But anyway, it's sort of worked. And maybe it's because it's a long distance thing, and we're not sitting right across the table from each other.
You think you'd punch him in the nose? I might.
Oh no, he'd probably the other way around. I think he's older than I am, but I think he's probably pretty scrappy.
He probably is.
But anyway, that's been a very enjoyable. It's been a very enjoyable working relationship, and we've had some fun.
I love Michael. He's been with Dallas Songwriters for a very, very long time, and so I've known him since the '90s. I've known him.
Oh gosh.
And he's been writing, and he used to enter and win our lyric contest a lot. So yeah, he's a great lyricist. He really is.
He won the lyric contest for the American Songwriter for one of the months. You remember that?
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Yeah. He's got, and every month he presents something at our Dallas Songwriters meeting where we do song critiques and stuff, and they're always top level songs. They're great. Some of them are pretty dark, though. We have to try to get him to lighten up a little bit.
He is dark, and it's funny because I have that penchant too. I think the dark stuff's often more interesting. And man, you should see some of the stuff we've thrown out of the songs that we've worked on together. Some of it's pretty grim.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, what do you got next? You want to do a couple more songs for us? We probably have time for three. We probably have time for 3 songs.
Whatever you'd like. Yeah, sure, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
I'll do Life is Hard because
I would like for you to do that because that was one of our winners.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have yeah. Okay. This comes with a parental warning. If there are children in the room, there's a section towards the end of the song that might not be acceptable for preteens.
Cover their ears.
It's called Life is Hard. Oh, I guess the backstory. I was when I have too much time on my hands, often my mind will wander to places that it probably shouldn't go. And I was thinking about famous works of art. Specifically, I was thinking of the painting of Mona Lisa and the statue of Venus de Milo and the statue of David. And I wondered, for hundreds and hundreds of years they've been on display. And I was wondering, what if they were actually sentient? Not like get up and walk around the museum sentient, but if they were listening and watching and thinking, what would they be thinking as we're watching and looking at them? So this is what I came up with. It's called Life is Hard. Well, Mona Lisa was just hanging out, wondering what the fuss was all about. She said, don't you even try to guess what I think. I'm tired of being framed and I wish I could blink. Life ain't hard, life ain't fair. I'd tell you all I've seen, but you wouldn't even care, 'cause all you people ever do is just stand around and stare. Yeah, life is hard. Venus de Milo was standing around with a friend. He was hinting at seduction. She was having none of it. She told him, I do appreciate your intent, but if you would look past my chest, you would see I just can't. Life is hard, life ain't fair. Oh, I'd grab more opportunity, maybe throw caution to the air, but I can't hold on to nothing. I can't even comb my hair. Yeah, life is hard. When you're feeling kinda lonely and you don't know what to do, all this mean old world seems to deal you is the blues. The dealer keeps flipping you unplayable hands. You can't call, you can't fold, and you can't understand why life ain't fair. And life is hard. Now is not the time to let down your guard, 'cause that deck is full of jokers. Oh, but you got to draw a card. Yeah, life is hard. David on his pedestal, he's cold as a stone, wishing he had a little something to put on. He said, praises of my form are universally sung, but I wish old Mike had rendered me more generously hung. Life is hard, life ain't fair. Oh, I'm stuck here for the ages and all the world to bear witness to my manhood. Yep, there it is. It's right there. Their life is hard. I'd really rather be on a beach somewhere with a little Italian sculptress wearing flowers in her hair, and maybe a teeny little bikini that's just barely there. I'd even settle for 10 minutes in a chair. Oh, but life is hard. That's the cultural part of our program completed.
So I was looking around on your website and I found like 7 albums that you have out there on your website, and then a couple on Bandcamp, and a single, a Christmas single. So was the blues album the last one that the full album that you've recorded, or have you done one since then?
It's the last one I put out. It's actually a compilation. There's one new song on it, but it's sort of a compilation
A
of the
genre
bluesier.
compilation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was listening to your songs today, which was wonderful before coming, before doing this. And it was really nice to hear such a wide variety of songs, even though of course, your blues is great and you've won all those blues competitions and accolades and stuff like that. But you still have a wide range for your songwriting, and it's wonderful to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so the Christmas song was interesting, I thought. So you do want to? What do you want to do? We're going to do a couple of more songs. So what would you like to do
We can do Christmas in
next?
July if you want. You want me to play that one?
That would
I
be
can.
kind of fun. Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure. It's called "What Else Do We Need," and it's kind of a reimagining of the nativity story with in a more modern day setting. I haven't played this since last Christmas, so I'll either remember it or I won't. Come, they told me, so come I did. Didn't see nothing, just a little bitty kid, no different than any other newborn babe. So why do all these folks come all this way? Now I've seen lots of babies in my time, and I would be a rich man if I had a dime for every cigar I'd been given by a brand new dad who believed his son to be the one to fix a world gone mad. I never even knew I was a sinner, never understood the concept of a saint. All I ever tried to do was to be as kind to you as I wanted you to be to me. And tell me, what else do we need? I can't seem to get away from this old town. Keep my head down and work my piece of ground. I don't have much money to my name, but I come here to pay tribute all the same. Here's an old coat, it'll surely keep him warm. It used to be my boy's. Oh, he don't need it since that dirty war, but I don't want to go much into that. No, I done all my thinking over that. I never even knew I was a sinner, never understood the concept of a saint. All I ever tried to do was to be as kind to you as I wanted you to be to me. And tell me, what else do we need? Them stars sure look bright there in the heavens, or that might just be the traffic getting off the interstate. Most nights by now I can't tell up from down, and folks usually pass on by this town Well, I'd best be on my way. Got no room here in this stable, and I got no place to stay. Don't scare the little fella in his bed. He needs his rest for what will surely lie ahead. If you want me, I'll be down the road from here. 'Cause Archangel Michael's gonna buy me another beer. At least that's what I thought he said, just before he put this notion in my head. I never even knew I was a sinner. I never understood the concept of a saint. All I ever tried to do was to be as kind to you as I wanted you to be to me. Tell me, what else do we need? What else do we need? What else do we need? Christmas in July.
That's such a beautiful message. So we're having a Blue Christmas in July this Saturday with Sons of Herman Hall and the Larry Tudson Foundation to raise money for kids to get bicycles and helmets and toys and stuff this Christmas for an impoverished area of South Dallas. So it's one of the things that we do in July, and we call it Blue Christmas in July. Would you mind if we took a clip of your song and used it on Facebook when we send out that message?
Of course. Yeah,
okay.
Please do. What a wonderful thing to do.
That would be great.
That's really a wonderful way to support folks who need help. That's great.
Yeah,
you guys are really good about that, I think. I think the DSA seems to be involved in those kind of fundraising efforts a lot, and that's to your credit. Thank you for doing that.
Sure, those kids need a way to get around, and bicycles is the way. So we give them also helmets and locks because they have to be able to lock them up or they'll be gone,
Right.
So that's important. And then the little ones get toys. We have lots of toys for them too, and it's a big giveaway, and it's been going on for a few years, and Dallas Songwriters has been involved in it for the past 5, I think. And it's also through, we co-partner with Columbia Lodge 66 from Sons of Herman Hall, which is a historic hall, German hall lodge, and it's a venue, a music venue. So we've been doing that for a while. And we're looking forward to it this Saturday, but we're looking forward to another song of yours.
Okay.
So when you play out, do you take all of those instruments with you, or do you just take your guitar?
No, I take them all.
You do?
Because I write the songs on the instruments, and I'm not adept enough to be able to adapt them to a single instrument. So, and plus, it's more interesting, I think, for me because you get to play different instruments.
Yeah. So I wondered, when you were playing that song, it was in the key of E, but you were using D patterns for your chords. And a capo, why not just do the open E pattern chords? Why use a capo?
I liked some of the figures you can play with that.
Like the little.
It would have required me to relearn the song.
Like the little turnarounds and stuff like that are easier to play.
Those are kind of nice sounding, and all this is I capo the top 5 strings and leave the bottom one open.
Okay.
So you get an open E when you play a D chord. Well, it's actually on the 4th fret.
Yeah.
But the E still stays.
That's cool to know. I really like that sound. It really gave an interesting sound to that song. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
So will this be your first time to play at the Arizona State Fair this year, or do you play there every year?
Nope, I was there last year. Well,
Uh-huh.
actually, I've been there for 3 years now.
Oh, okay.
But uh, last year they started a deal where they wanted you for 4 nights in a row, so I got a 4 night run, which is nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and it's a state fair, so you play for different people every night. Um, but
So
it's a
is it
lot of
just
fun.
1 week or a number of weeks?
Oh, the state fair runs, I think, a month or
A
maybe
month,
6 weeks.
yeah, that's kind of like ours. Ours runs 4 weeks, or I think, or five. Yeah, our
Yeah,
state fair does.
and they've got 5 or 6 different stages, different venues. They
Mhm.
have a stage for tribute bands, and they have a stage for singer songwriters, and they have a stage for country music, specifically for country music, and
Mhm.
so yeah, they hire a lot of local folks. Some of the headliners of they have a concert series too. I think Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights they have an actual concert. God, years ago I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan was one of the headliners there.
Yeah.
But so that's going on, and my stage last year was right down the way from the food court, so
Oh, that's
I
a good
got to,
spot.
yeah, oh yeah, it was great. I gained 15 pounds in that week.
Oh gosh.
Curly fries, a brick of curly fries the size of your head,
Is
every
it a
night.
little cooler there in October?
It is, yeah. It
That's
can still
good.
be 100 degrees though,
Yeah.
but it's generally cooler.
It can be hot here in Dallas in October too, but it's a little cooler too. That's when our
Mm,
fair is, through October. So you
yeah.
play locally a lot at like the old Ellsworth Brewing Company and the Roastery and Short Leash. That's a hot dog place, isn't it? And
Yeah.
Fatso. And so I guess people who are local there can find you at those places playing live, pretty much through the week,
Hmm.
different times. What is the Arizona Folklore Preserve? What is that?
The Arizona Folklore Preserve is a small listening venue in southern Arizona. It's about 2.5 hours south of Phoenix. There's a town called Sierra Vista, which is about an hour south of Tucson.
Oh,
And Sierra Vista has a military base, and it's
mm,
also a pretty substantial retirement community.
mhm.
Um, and there is a place called Ramsey Canyon, which is a nature conservancy preserve. No relation. My side of the Ramsey family didn't have that kind of money to donate a canyon or anything.
But you fit
Um,
right in there.
yeah, yeah. Um, and it was established by a fellow named Dolan Ellis, who I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's the Arizona's official balladeer. He has been for
Oh.
like 50 or 60 years. He was a member of the original Christie Minstrels, and
Oh, yeah, I remember
look him
Christy
up,
Minstrels. Yeah,
Dolan
Dolan
Ellis.
Ellis. Okay.
Yeah, so he established this preserve maybe 20 years ago,
Mhm.
and it's a small listening venue at the mouth of this canyon. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
But like a natural amphitheater.
No, it's indoors.
Oh, it's indoors. Okay,
Yeah, it's
that's
indoors.
good.
They have a visitor center, and
Mhm.
they have a, fully built out stage with lighting, and I think they can probably accommodate 80 people or so.
Wow,
So I'm fortunate to get to play there a couple times a year. They
that's
do
cool.
a Saturday Sunday thing,
Mhm.
so it's nice.
That sounds wonderful.
I highly recommend, if you're ever coming through Arizona, to go through that section of southern Arizona and check it out. It's a beautiful spot.
All right, that's the place. Well, what have you got for us to close for tonight today?
Well, a, a brand new one.
Oh,
I'm gonna
good.
try to get through that. It's using that same kind of tuning.
Hmm.
And that's not a tuning, but that same trick with the capo. This
Uh-huh.
is called State of Grace, and this one's still kind of finding its legs. You know how when you have a new song, for me anyway,
Yes, I
I have to
do.
perform it a bunch
You
before it
just,
sort of finds its own level.
yeah.
Do you find that to be true, Barbie?
Oh, absolutely. I really have to perform it for it to settle in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in the settling in process. Who
Hmm.
knows what's going to happen? It's called State of Grace. I've been all around this country from end to end. There's just one place I have yet to wend. I've never set foot in the state of grace, and I'm not really sure how to get there. Seems I've been wandering for ages. Is grace a state of the union or a state of the mind, or just a construct to help us feel better in time? Is there a highway that leads to the state line of grace? 'Cause I'm not really sure how to get there, and my atlas is missing some pages. Is grace really a place, or just a word or a deed? Does it have a post office and a library, and a place where the hungry can eat? 'Cause the hungry are always hungry. Yeah, the hungry are always hungry. Well, I've been on the mountain, I've been in the mud. I've tasted honey and I've tasted blood. I've been washed away and been hung out to dry. But I've never been forgiven, and I'm not really sure what forgiveness means. Simple is as simple does, I like the way that sounds. Chaos always seems to follow me around. They say it'll get a little easier, but I don't believe them. And I'm not really sure what easier means. Is grace a destination or just the journey itself? Can I get there without asking for help? How will I know when I arrive? Will there be a welcoming committee, or just a bum on the corner holding a sign? Is grace really a place, or just a word or a deed? Does it have a post office and a library, and a place where the hungry can eat? Because the hungry are always hungry. Yeah, the hungry are always hungry. Thank you.
That's really wonderful. I love that song. That's a good one.
Oh, thank you. That's high praise, because I'm not really sure that I like it yet.
Oh, yeah,
But
you'll like
thank
it
you.
more. The more you do it, the more you'll like it. It's a good one. Good message. Good performance. Good lyrics. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for taking the time out of your busy, busy, busy day to share your songs with us. I mean, I know you've got lots and lots of songs. with 7 albums out there, and you're a busy guy with all the places that you're performing. So I really want to thank you for taking the time out of the middle of the day and spending with us. And we also want to thank our superstar director, Harry Hewlett, for his behind the scenes expertise. There he is. Hey
There he
there,
is,
Harry.
right there.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Harry,
Harry.
for all your
Thank you.
work. And
Good job, Eric.
Thank
mhm,
you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you both so much for this opportunity. It's an honor to be on your show, and I really appreciate it.
We love having you, and you sounded great. And I think you'll like the video. So
Now,
let me
I have
close
to
this
look
out.
at myself, so
Yeah, I know. I have that problem too. All right. So you've been listening to our guest songwriter extraordinaire, Eric Ramsey. Eric is currently residing in the Phoenix, Arizona area with his family. And you can find his music on Bandcamp, that website, and his own website, ericramsey.net. And plus Facebook and Instagram is at Eric Ramsey Music, and YouTube is at Eric Ramsey Tunes. So he's out there in a lot of places. And of course, if you want to see him in person around the Phoenix area, we mentioned the Brewing Company and the Roastery and Short Leash and Arizona Folklore Preserve, which is out by Tucson. And oh, not to forget Fatso's. And then in October, the Arizona State Fair. I'm Barbara McMillen. Good night, all from Dallas, Texas, and Scottsdale, Arizona.